This program is brought to you by Emory University.
If you look through cinema, and it's actually, at least from my perspective, it's American cinema because of the literary vampire that started changing the image. The very first image of the vampire we ever get on film is German, and it's Nosferatu. And he's really hideous. Of course, you have already a major jump from the actor who was in Nosferatu to Bela Lugosi in 1932. And I guess some people would consider Bela Lugosi to be rather handsome. He's very debonair in a tuxedo. He's got that cape, and the cape is so he can turn into a bat and fly, but there's also, you know, the evening garb of the social scene of the turn of the century and through the 20s and 30s, and he's got that wonderful little voice, up even through Bela Lugosi, who changed what Dracula looked like. He was no longer that hideous. Maybe I don't consider him that handsome, but you know. But then you had people like Lon Chaney, John Carradine playing Dracula, and you know, you always had the older gentlemen, you know, always having some sort of accent to them. And really wasn't until the 70s you get to Frank Langella and his Dracula, and it's 1972, I believe it is. And all of a sudden you have someone who's barely 40 years old, darkly handsome, dressed in a poet's shirt, and he has all the characteristics of Bela Lugosi. He's East European, but there's something different. He's incredibly handsome. And in many ways it ties into the sexual revolution in America. It's almost a one-to-one if you look at the timing of this, 60s and 70s. And you get this association of sexual gratification with vampirism. And the women not only are controlled by him, because he is also a psychic vampire, but they fall in love with him. And as you also see it even played more up in Coppola's, where you get Gary Oldman, who's even younger than Frank Langella. So the closer we get to the end of the century, our actors are getting younger. Then shortly afterwards, you get Interview with a Vampire with Tom Cruise playing Lestat, a creation of Anne Rice in her Vampire Chronicles, and Brad Pitt as Charles. I'm sorry, Brad Pitt, he played Louis, not Charles. So you got two of the hunks of the late 20th century playing these vampires. And then look what happens in Twilight. Patton, son, I think it is, who plays Edward, he's about 23 years old. So we have gotten very young in our actors. So they've been gaining their youth as the movie audiences become accustomed and even comfortable what is actually a monster. And this monster has been turned into an incredibly handsome man. But there's this romanticization, whoa, that must be a new word, of an absolutely horrific creature. It doesn't matter if he's folkloric, literary, psychic, or psychotic. I mean, these people are monsters.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Emory University.